we're just starting to scratch the surface of what this case, this case is going to touch and involve.
I would say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
Denzel Washington has allegedly shared some shocking information about Oprah Winfrey's potential ties to Sean Combs, better known as Diddy. Word on the street is that she might still be supporting him even while he's locked up. Think about it. Not too long ago, Diddy was living it up in Miami, hosting these massive celebrity parties and enjoying the high life, music pumping, champagne flowing, the whole 9 yards. Now he's sitting in one of America's toughest federal detention centers. That shift alone would be wild enough, but things have gotten even more intense. So whose name is suddenly being connected to all this Diddy drama? Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, that Oprah, the talk show legend, the billionaire media mogul, the woman millions see as a symbol of positivity and personal growth. People are absolutely stunned by this development. If you had to guess which celebrity would get tangled up in something this serious, Oprah would probably be at the bottom of your list. But here we are, and apparently it's Denzel Washington who's supposedly bringing these connections to light. This whole situation is getting stranger by the day.
They could make a joke about it, and I accepted it because I thought I deserved it. I accepted it.
Yeah.
And I received it because I thought, well, they're right.
Right,
They're
and they
right.
were wrong.
And they were
And
wrong.
they
Now
were
I know they were so wrong.
Before we dive into what he's supposedly revealing, let's back up a bit, because if you're just hearing about this, you might not realize how serious this whole situation has become. Sure, you've probably seen Diddy's name everywhere lately. News outlets, social media feeds, entertainment blogs, you name it. But this isn't your typical celebrity gossip or scandal. We're not talking about cheating allegations or some public meltdown. What Diddy is facing involves federal charges that are extremely serious. We're talking about trafficking, extortion, and other disturbing accusations that include allegations involving minors. And no, this isn't just internet rumors or conspiracy theories. These are actual federal investigations with real law enforcement involvement. The whole thing started when his former partner Cassie filed a lawsuit back in late 2023. That single case seemed to crack everything wide open, leading to a flood of other disturbing claims. Things moved fast after that. Federal agents raided multiple properties he owned across the country. What they allegedly discovered wasn't typical luxury items you'd expect in celebrity homes. Reports suggest they found large quantities of baby oil, rooms full of adult entertainment items, and spaces that were supposedly set up for activities too disturbing to describe in detail. It's the kind of stuff that would make anyone uncomfortable. Then, just when you think this story couldn't get any more shocking, Oprah Winfrey's name starts appearing in discussions about all this. Oprah, the woman known worldwide for her kindness, generosity, and those deep, healing conversations on her show, is now being loosely linked to one of the entertainment industry's darkest scandals, and the person bringing attention to her involvement is Denzel Washington. Now, Denzel isn't known for stirring up drama or spreading gossip. He's usually very careful about what he says publicly, so when he raises concerns, people tend to pay attention. Sources suggest that Denzel has been quietly observing Oprah's behavior for quite some time. This isn't about petty Hollywood drama, it's allegedly about how she treats people behind closed doors, particularly Black women in the industry. According to these sources, this concern has been building up for years, staying under the radar. Until now, the connection between Oprah and Diddy isn't new either. They've been friends for decades, appearing together at major events like the BET Awards, Cannes Film Festival, the Grammy Awards, and exclusive fashion shows. Diddy even appeared on her talk show multiple times, sharing stories about his journey from the streets to becoming a successful businessman. From the outside, it looked like two successful Black entertainers supporting each other, a perfect example of Black excellence lifting up Black excellence. But now, looking back at those old interviews and public appearances, something feels different. The smiles seem less genuine, the compliments sound more like scripted public relations moments. And the whole dynamic is raising questions. If you're still thinking all this might be coincidence, let's talk about Taraji P. Henson. She recently revealed that she almost quit the Color Purple movie, which Oprah helped produce. Why? Because she was being paid significantly less than what she felt she deserved for her role. And she's not the only one speaking out. Monique, the comedian and Oscar-winning actress, has been talking about similar issues for years. She's been vocal about how Black women in Hollywood often don't receive fair compensation. even when they're the main stars of projects in both cases. Oprah's name keeps coming up in these conversations. Let's go back to 2008 when Monique opened up an Essence magazine about being abused by her brother. She shared this deeply personal trauma with Oprah privately, including details about how her parents failed to support her. During that difficult time, Oprah knew all these painful details about Monique's family situation.
Because had Oprah Winfrey said, I'm gonna have your mother, I would have said, shut it down. I don't need the world seeing how greedy my mother is. Shut that down.
But instead of respecting that private pain, Oprah went ahead and invited Monique's brother and her parents onto her show. Without giving her any warning, what's really surprising is that Oprah, who has always talked about women's empowerment and standing up for yourself, actually invited the person who had hurt Monique onto her show without any heads up or apology afterward. Monique later confronted her about this, calling her out for being completely insensitive to her trauma and accusing Oprah of exploiting her pain just to boost ratings and viewership. This wasn't just a one-time incident either. Oprah has built her entire brand around these emotional, deeply personal interviews. But some critics argue it's more about getting good ratings than actually helping people heal. She's been accused of pulling out guests' most personal and painful stories only to use them as entertainment content for her audience.
Until that woman says, let me apologize to you publicly, it'll be to the day I leave this earth. Because what you did was, and it was intentional, and it was ugly.
And 50 Cent isn't buying into Oprah's image either after she publicly criticized his music lyrics. 50 Cent fired back hard. He accused her of trying to appeal to white audiences while turning her back on the very community she came from. He even went as far as calling her an Oreo, meaning black on the outside but white on the inside, because he felt her passion for black issues disappeared whenever white America was watching. And he's not the only one who's noticed this pattern. Ice Cube has also spoken about feeling shut out by Oprah. Despite his long career in music, film, and even politics, he couldn't get invited to appear on her show, not even to discuss major projects like the Barbershop movies or his documentary about race relations. His perspective was that it wasn't about the content of his work, it was about control. He didn't fit into Oprah's carefully crafted image, so he got sidelined. Chris Brown has also called her out after he donated money to her school in Africa. He felt abandoned when she publicly supported Rihanna during their legal situation but completely distanced herself from him. He wasn't asking for forgiveness or defending his actions, he just wanted some fairness, or at least basic human compassion from someone he had supported. Then there's the James Frey situation. Oprah promoted his memoir and helped make it a bestseller. But when it came out that he had exaggerated parts of his story, she brought him back onto her show and publicly confronted him. Some people thought she was being fair and holding him accountable, while others saw it as public humiliation designed to create dramatic television. The same thing happened with Ludacris back in 2005. He appeared on her show to promote the movie Crash, but instead of focusing on the film, Oprah went after him about his rap lyrics. Ludacris later revealed that his entire defense and explanation got completely edited out of the broadcast, making it look like he just sat there silently while she criticized him. It wasn't just disappointing, it was humiliating, and it fits into a pattern of Oprah using her platform to publicly scold black men in the name of accountability. While the ratings keep rolling in, when you step back and look at the bigger picture, it all starts to feel more calculated and strategic. Oprah's inner circle has included names like Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, and Tyler Perry, three men who have all been surrounded by serious controversies. When people say birds of a feather flock together, you start to see some concerning connections, but it doesn't stop there. Many industry insiders describe Oprah as a Hollywood gatekeeper, someone who decides who gets the spotlight, who gets shut out, and what stories get told to the public. They say she operates like a puppet master behind the scenes, promoting certain narratives while keeping others quiet. And then there's the whole Maui wildfire situation. While regular families lost everything they owned, Oprah's massive estate remained completely untouched. This wasn't the first time either. The same thing happened in Montecito back in 2017, both times. Her property stood perfectly fine while others around it burned to the ground. What made it even worse was that instead of writing a big check to help the victims, she launched a donation drive asking regular people to contribute money. One of the richest women on the planet was asking everyday folks to pitch in for disaster relief. The internet wasn't impressed with that move at all. Now, with all these lawsuits piling up against Diddy, Oprah's connection to him is looking even more suspicious. There are rumors floating around about her helping him out behind the scenes, offering protection, sharing resources, even helping him maintain his relevance in the industry. Former Diddy bodyguard Gene Deal added fuel to the fire when he said, "You know, he was running with Oprah and them, he was running with that whole crew. Weinstein, Oprah, Epstein, he was running with that whole crew." If that doesn't make you stop and think, it should. These aren't just casual party acquaintances we're talking about. These are longtime business allies and friends in the entertainment industry. And it gets even darker when you look at Oprah's relationship with Harvey Weinstein. They weren't just colleagues, they were genuinely close friends. There are countless photos of them hugging, smiling, and working together behind the scenes. All of this was happening while Weinstein's predatory behavior was basically an open secret in Hollywood. When survivors finally came forward with their stories, Oprah didn't condemn Weinstein directly. Instead, she gave a vague speech about broader industry issues. It was strategic, it was quiet. And maybe that's the real story here. What gets said out loud versus what gets left unsaid. Things really got crazy when Harvey Weinstein made a shocking claim that Oprah Winfrey actually called him to show support after all the allegations against him became public. Coming from someone desperate to hold onto any shred of credibility, that kind of statement carries some weight. It didn't take long for Oprah's team to jump into full damage control mode, though. They denied the conversation ever happened, saying she was simply trying to secure an interview with him for a 60-minute segment. Still, the damage was done. Weinstein kept name-dropping Oprah as if he was trying to remind everyone just how close they used to be. But wait, there's another moment that really questions Oprah's loyalty. Let's go back to 1993. Michael Jackson, one of the most private and heavily scrutinized celebrities ever, did something he rarely did. He opened up. He invited Oprah Winfrey into his personal sanctuary, Neverland Ranch, for an emotional interview that was broadcast worldwide. It was huge for Michael because it was such a rare moment of vulnerability for Oprah. It was a career-defining moment that helped skyrocket her reputation and establish her as the go-to interviewer for major celebrities.
Choreographing the dance. You were up all night dancing.
For years after that interview, Oprah proudly talked about Michael as a friend. She wore that exclusive interview like a badge of honor, and it really did help solidify her status in the entertainment world. But after his death, everything changed. Oprah did a complete turnaround and supported the Leaving Neverland documentary, which brought back serious allegations through testimonies from Wade Robson and James Safechuck, the same two men who had previously sworn under oath that Michael Jackson never hurt them. Talk about a complete shift in loyalty. But Oprah didn't just support the documentary quietly. She doubled down by hosting an entire special that gave Wade and James a massive platform, while essentially distancing herself from the man who had once trusted her. With his most private moments, fans were absolutely stunned. Oprah giving a full spotlight to Michael's accusers after years of calling him a friend felt like a complete betrayal to many people. People started questioning her real motives. Was this genuinely about seeking justice and highlighting abuse in the industry, or was it just another ratings-grabbing media move? Oprah defended herself by saying her goal was to bring attention to abuse issues. But many people weren't buying that explanation. If she was really that passionate about calling out predators, why didn't she bring that same energy when it came to Harvey Weinstein? But the plot gets even thicker. Remember John of God, the so-called spiritual healer from Brazil that Oprah once featured prominently? She didn't just mention him in passing. She actually flew to Brazil, met him in person, and featured him extensively in her media empire. She presented him as some kind of divine miracle worker who could heal people through spiritual means. Fast forward a few years and the horrifying truth came out. This man was no healer at all. He was a complete monster who was accused of trafficking women, sexual assault, and running a disturbing criminal operation. The details that came out about his activities were reportedly so disturbing they're almost impossible to describe to the average person. And yet Oprah had actually met this man face to face and featured him prominently on her show. Just think about how emotionally disconnected someone would have to be to associate with a person like that. It's absolutely horrifying. When the truth about John of God came out, Oprah practically vanished from the conversation. She deleted every trace of her association with him from her platforms. No public apology, no statement acknowledging what happened, no attempt to address how she had promoted this person to millions of people. Just complete silence. People were rightfully disturbed by this response. How can someone with so much influence and reach just disappear from accountability like that? This wasn't an isolated incident either. Even her all-girls school in South Africa, which was once celebrated as a triumph of education and empowerment, faced its own scandal when a staff member was arrested for inappropriate conduct. With students, again, Oprah offered minimal transparency and barely addressed the incident publicly. Then came Seal, the Grammy-winning singer, who set social media on fire with a viral Instagram post. He basically suggested that Oprah had known about Weinstein's crimes all along and chose to stay silent. His post implied she was protecting powerful people while pretending to stand up for victims. Just 5 days after that post went viral, Seal was hit with a battery allegation. The timing raised a lot of eyebrows. Though the charge was later dropped, fans couldn't help but notice how convenient the timing seemed. Comedian Cat Williams took it even further. He accused Oprah of orchestrating the attack on Seal as a warning shot, sending a message to others not to speak out against her. According to Cat, Oprah was more willing to throw a black man under the bus to preserve her brand and maintain her connections to Hollywood power players.
And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
What's really got people talking is how Oprah's name keeps popping up in connection with all this mess from her past, and now even in the Diddy situation. Let's be honest, when someone like Oprah, who built her entire brand on empathy, healing, and living your truth, gets linked to all this darkness, it makes you stop and really think. Could she have known about these things? Did she choose to stay quiet? Was she actively protecting people like Diddy and Weinstein all along? Suddenly, it doesn't feel like these big-name controversies are isolated cases. It feels like there's a whole system at play here. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not just about Diddy or even Oprah specifically. It's about a network of powerful people who seem to operate by completely different rules than everyone else. And instead of calling them out, a lot of actors and celebrities just join them. Why? For money, for status, for a seat at the exclusive table. They look the other way, stay silent, or even actively protect these people just to keep their careers moving forward. It kind of feels like nobody's really keeping these folks accountable. They move in groups, they protect each other, and the rest of the world just watches from the sidelines if nobody speaks up. This cycle is just going to keep repeating itself. The faces might change over time, but the power games and the protection rackets stay exactly the same. Maybe it's finally time for people to stop looking up to these celebrities and start looking more closely at what they're actually doing behind the scenes. Now, for a while, these accusations and concerns started to fade from public memory. But then came what people are calling the Denzel moment. The legendary actor, who's widely respected in the Black community and known for staying far away from messy Hollywood drama, began to quietly raise some serious eyebrows. He didn't blast Oprah publicly or make any dramatic statements, but according to industry insiders, Denzel started hinting that if Diddy was problematic behind the scenes, Oprah might actually be even worse. It's said that Denzel has been questioning the way Oprah champions certain people while seemingly silencing others, all while holding herself up as the voice for justice and women's empowerment. That kind of quiet criticism hits differently because Denzel doesn't just speak up to make noise or get attention. When he says something, people listen. So here's the real question that everyone's asking. What do you think? Is Denzel onto something by casting doubt on Oprah's behind-the-scenes role? Has she truly been the icon of hope, healing, and empowerment that we've all believed in for decades? Or has she just gotten really good at playing that part while actually serving as a gatekeeper in a system designed to protect the powerful and silence the truth? Because when you start connecting all these dots, things don't look so innocent anymore. The people she's stood by, the stories she's chosen to platform or ignore, the way she's handled various controversies, it all starts to paint a very different picture than what we see on the surface. Maybe this isn't just about Oprah as an individual, maybe it's about a much bigger problem in the entertainment industry, one where money, status, and public image matter more than real accountability or justice. We want to know what you think about all this. Drop your thoughts and opinions in the comments below.